Yeah, I'll show you afterwards. So write whatever you want to write on there.
Did you take a look at those signs? Yeah. Can we make some and get some?
Yeah, I haven't got them ordered yet, but I'm gonna take the print of it and just let you approve it.
That's fine. That's just something. I know there didn't appear to be one on the website.
Yes, sir.
I think it'd be nice to have one.
Yes. When I get the print of it, I'll send it to you.
Make sure it writes.
I don't know.
All the time. Yeah, thank you. Her option is not everybody does.
Now what I can see. What you would see.
And walk off straight to go. Pour out.
Sir? Yeah, I'll do the print.
Y'all need a. She had way too much. Did I miss the memo? It's weird. No, I just.
Even I what?
You don't want to know.
No.
Hi, my name. How are you? You said it's a due date. No, but where have you been?
I have sort of.
Your office too.
I don't know. Call the February 7th regular call meeting to order. The record shows that all aldermen are present. Mr. Glorioso will lead us in the invocation. Ms. Burgess in the pledge of allegiance. Please stand.
Everybody, please bow your head. Lord, we come to you today to open this board meeting. Please pray that everything goes meaningful in your name. And we put the best interests of Ocean Springs first. In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Carries. We have a couple of populations. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs is proud to recognize men and women that focus on infrastructure and services that are vital and important to sustainability and resilient communities and public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of the City of Ocean Springs. Whereas Lloyd Helpston joined the Ocean Springs Public Works Department in 2001 as a water department laborer. He has worked as a tractor operator and was eventually appointed as the street department supervisor. Whereas Lloyd is a St. Martin High School graduate, he is an avid hunter and loves to fish. He is a welder by trade, but also a master carver. He has done several carvings throughout the city, including the turtle at the Sherwood Bridge, walkway, and the tree at Fort Maripold Park. Whereas Lloyd is married to his lovely wife, Deanna, children, Lloyd's third, Corey, and Tara. He is a proud grandfather to Ellen. Whereas the City of Ocean Springs acknowledges Lloyd Helverston for his many years of outstanding service to the Ocean Springs Public Works Department and extends to him sincere best wishes for continued success in all of his future endeavors. Now, therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, proudly present this proclamation on February 7, 2023, and recognizing Lloyd Helverston Jr. for his loyal commitment of 21 years of service to the Ocean Springs Public Works Department. See Lloyd all over town in his pickup truck, and always on the job. We're going to miss him. And Friday morning at 9 a.m., we're going to dedicate a plaque to Lloyd that's in front of the tree at Fort Marathon. Tree at Fort Marathon.
I think it's Thursday. Is that right? Thursday's Lloyd's last day.
Thursday. What night that's?
Yeah, Thursday.
That's Thursday.
Thursday. They're going to make him come back for another.
Well, sure, thank y'all. I spent a lot of time in the city. I've learned that what you see today, make an exception to do. Don't wait till tomorrow, because sometimes it don't wind up that way. The years that I put into this city, I've been through it all. I've seen it, and I've learned from it. And one thing about it, it fed my family. And I wasn't going to bust up like this. But it's an honor. I've been working since I was little. And come and sit in front of y'all and tell y'all that it's been 21 years of great working for this city. And I wouldn't have it any other way. And I want to thank y'all for greeting me with that plaque down there. It means a lot. But I didn't do that for me. I did that for them. I want our grandkids to be able to see this, and you know how long, you never know. And thank y'all very much for having me, and I wish that I could give y'all some more years when I'm done.
You're going to have to come back and take care of that tree every now and then.
I will, thank you.
Alan, what'd you get?
I got
You don't know what I'm saying.
All right, look right here. 1, 2, 3. One more.
Daryl, congratulations. Have a good one, man.
Okay, one more. Whereas in 1872, Sterling Martin proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. And whereas this holiday, called Arbor Day, is first observed with the planting of more than 1 million trees in Nebraska. And whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, lower our heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce life-giving oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. And whereas trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. And whereas trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Now, therefore, I, Kenny Holloway, Mayor of the City of Ocean Springs, do hereby proclaim February 11, 2023 as Arbor Day in the City of Ocean Springs, and observe and urge all citizens to celebrate Arbor Day and support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands. I think this is for you. And we're giving away trees at that Saturday at the Civic Center. Anybody wants to come by and pick up a tree?
Starting at 9 a.m.
$50 for it.
Okay, good. update on from RS or Losky Architects, an update on the stage at Fort Marathon.
Yes. Good evening. My name is Hoppy Allred with Allred Stolarski Architects, and we were asked by Mayor Holloway to look at covering the existing stage out at Fort Marathon. So we met with Sarah and Raven and the mayor and came up with a couple different concepts, and we've kind of landed on this one, which is a single sloping shed roof over the existing stage, but putting the footers outside of the stage so that we're not impacting the existing structural integrity of the stage and not impacting the use of it, possibly during construction. So we're looking at complementing the existing pavilion that's on site and also looking at the future projects to go across the street with the future marina project. Next slide. So you can see the upper left is the existing pavilion and the existing stage. Some images on the right are from Cypress Engineering and their proposed project for the marina. We looked at some of the detailing as far as the rafter ends and the beams and trying to incorporate that into the cover for the stage area. So you can see in the lower left kind of a conceptual rendering of the cover over the stage next to the pavilion. And then again on the right is the future marina. So we'd be looking at incorporating a lot of the same materials as far as the metal roofing, the exposed wood on the underside of the roof as far as the decking and the beams. And again, the footings and structure will be outside of the existing footprint of the stage area. Next slide. Again, conceptual rendering. I know there's going to be concerts held, what is it, monthly? Third Friday?
The final Friday.
Final Friday of each month. So just conceptually used for concert events. We understand the city may be purchasing speakers and or lights for this area, so we can coordinate any mounting that needs to take place of those lights. And the speakers may be freestanding, so they can be stored in the storage rooms that are on the backside when they're not in use, and then brought out during events as needed. Designing to the 2018 IBC code, so it'd be 162 mile an hour wind velocity for that. Looking at, again, same materials as far as the split face block, blue lam beam, steel, and looking at putting a wall on the backside where the city's logo can go as well on the backside. Our initial thought was to put area lights for safety at night, so those will be included, and then if there's specialized lights for events, performance lighting or a lighting bar that needs to be added, we can certainly look at adding that as well. That may be the last slide. No, one more. So the existing stage, as you see it there with the trellis, all the stairs and everything would remain as they are as far as the ramps, the stairs, the sidewalks to it. So basically we're covering over that existing area. And one more kind of night rendering for the final Friday concert event.
Building a stage.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the idea is to go outside of the footprint. One, because of schedule, we'll probably be constructing this during the summer concert series. Mm-hmm. So the plan is to kind of work during the week, shut down the site on the weekend so that we have a safe site, have the event, then remobilize and start work again following that. So
It looks good.
Does anybody have any questions?
No, that's good.
The project can be funded through GCR funds. No, it was just a grant we got, it was capital expense money from the state last year that representatives were put in there for us, which was designated for some infrastructure along with front beach improvements. So.
all right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna have a note of order here. When we do a roll call going forward, we'll start with Ward 1 and go through Ward 7, and then the Alderman at large will cast the final six. And the Alderman at large will cast the final vote. Procedural change there, so they'll wait on Bobby to vote again. I won't cast. There I am. Okay, we have a public hearing, 2003 Governor Street, PID number 6105810.000 through 61058.019.000. Request approval of rezoning change from RM2 multifamily residential district to CMX community commercial mixed use district. Is there a motion to open the public hearing? So motion by Mr. Aldermen, second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Carolyn, you want to explain?
Yeah, this is one of the two properties on government, and it was zoned RM2 for multifamily. I believe this is the one where the trailer park was. So I want to make sure I'm not getting it mixed up. But to change it from RM2 multifamily to CMX2, which would allow for the residential to continue, but would allow for a commercial element to be introduced as needed, because it is in a central, surrounded by commercial rather than residential. So, and I know that Joe is here if you'd like to present, or if you have any questions about the information that's in your packet. Yeah, the presentation is in your packet, so we don't have to go through it. But essentially, the Planning Commission did find that the changes that have occurred in the neighborhood justified the zoning change because it has become more of a commercial area rather than residential.
Is there anyone from the public that would like to speak for or against the zoning change? Okay, is there anyone on the board that has any questions? Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to come out of public hearing.
Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Wade, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. No motion to approve or deny.
Want to make a motion to approve the zoning change at 2003 Government Street, PID number 6105810.000 through 6105819.00. Approve the zoning change, MR2 multifamily residential to CMX2 community commercial mixed use district.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Wade, second by Mr. Osborne.
This is, yeah, this ordinance.
Adopting the ordinance, did you say?
Yeah.
So it's a roll.
All in favor?
It's a roll.
Aye.
It has to be a roll call.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Moving on, another public hearing to 2207 Government Street, PID 61058.020.000 through 61058.050.000. Request approval of zoning change from RM2 to CMX2.
Motion to go into public hearing, Max.
Motion by Mr. Cox.
Second.
Second by Mr. Blackman. All in favor?
Aye.
Carolyn?
And this is the same situation, and actually the previous one, I always forget which one is which, but the previous one was a little bit further to the west. These are, but they still also contain the cottages, and we're a part of that cottage development that's zoned RM2. So this is the same situation where it is currently zoned for multifamily, but would like to be able to introduce the, to as they stated, the long-term rentals, primary residence, and secondary residence, and plus any allowable in CMX2. They'd like to be able to introduce that commercial frontage to go with the rest of the street. So as with the other property, the Planning Commission did find that there had been a change in the character of the neighborhood and supported the zoning change.
Okay. So
Just
anyone,
remember, addresses get higher too.
Yeah, yeah. I was like, which way am I facing? It's been that kind of day. So.
is there anyone from the public who would like to speak for or against? Anyone here have any questions?
Mayor, just one point of clarification. There is commercial use existing on this property that that will be cleaned up by this.
Yeah.
And has been for a long, long time.
Need a motion to close public hearing? So moved. Motion by Mr. Cox, second by Mr. Wade. Roll call. I'm sorry, all in favor? Is there a motion?
That was come out of. Yeah.
You have that on the,
That's what I'm doing right now. Motion to approve or deny.
I'm sorry.
That's what the first one was.
Make a motion to approve,
Motion by Mr. Wade,
2207 Government Street, PID 61058020.000 through 61058050.000. Approval for the zoning change of RM2 to CMX2.
second by Mr. Aldermen.
Aye.
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 Motion carries. Next item on the agenda is agenda public comment. The public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum of 30 minutes, only regarding issues listed on this agenda. Please identify yourself and the agenda item when you approach the podium. Yes,
My name is Merritt Johnson.
podium, please.
Mayor Holloway and the board, I wanted to urge you to take those cameras down.
Hold on. So this is for agenda items only. If it's something on the agenda, you can speak. We're going to have another public comment section that you can talk about anything related to business.
Okay.
See.
Okay, that's,
Anyone want to address the board concerning any agenda items? Old business, we have none. New business. Item to appeal of the building official and community development and planning department determination regarding commercial activity in PUB, public zoning district, food, booze, and hiccup, and belly up beach chairs. Carolyn?
Yeah, the information you have in front of you came as a result of the cease and desist that was issued by the building department for code violation. The central issue is the zoning of the beach area is public, which does not allow for commercial activity. The issue at hand is use of the beach, advertised use of the beach as the business site where the services are provided. So essentially, that's what the request was as far as both of the entities, both the chairs and the event, the meal event, food, booze, and hiccups, to be consistent and compliant with the zoning regulations. This did go before ZAB, and they did have discussion and voted to uphold the order. And that's the appeal, is to appeal ZAB's determination that the order stay.
Gerald, you have anything? Okay. Would y'all like to speak?
Hello, my name is Michael Paletti. I live at 9201 Ridgeview Drive East, Ocean Springs, Mississippi 39564. We did put together a packet. Do y'all mind if I hand it out to y'all? You do. Okay. Yeah, I think that's enough.
Robert, you get a copy of this?
I do not. I'd like to see a copy.
Do we need one more? I don't know if I have one. We can share it if you want to.
You probably don't want me sitting up there looking at it.
Hey, it's all right. So if y'all don't mind, I'm just kind of go through it if y'all are fine with that. I'm not going to read it word for word. First page is a 2016 email that we got from Miss Carolyn. This is when my folks ran belly up beach chairs. Simply states that we're allowed to drop off and pick up the beach chairs. It does say that we're not allowed to advertise. We were told that we're not allowed to advertise on the beach. So no signage. My parents had signs on their cars. They had signs hanging from the chairs. Once they got this email, they immediately took it away. That's what we were told. As far as any kind of advertising that we do no advertising whatsoever on the beach. You'll never see us put up a sign. You'll never see us stating who we are and what we do. We simply utilize the beach for what it is. Moving on to the back of the first page, or maybe not, maybe yours, maybe not. First thing is a certificate of recognition from the outpost, which is provided by the Jackson County, which is run by the state, of being sustainable on the beach, driving tourism, which we feel like we do. Next thing is our privilege license, showing that we've been working under the city supervision with the beach chairs for over 6 years. FUBUs and Hiccups has been in business for over 5 years. We have our health department grade from the state. They know that we cook on the beach. They know how we cook on the beach. They know all the ins and outs of everything that we do. The next, and I'll let you guys read this because I'm terrible at reading, is a state of recommendation from DMR showing how we drive tourism, everything that we do. It's all pretty much outlined in there. I'll give you all a second to read through this because once again, I'm terrible at reading. And if y'all have any questions, please fire away. I can keep going. All right, cool. Next page is, we know that the advertising is quote unquote an issue. So we just did a little simple research through Google. We have wedding planners, photographers, and beach fund. These are all websites that promote beach activity, commercial activity on the beach. So they render a service, they get paid for it. We feel like we fall in that same category. Once again, this is wedding planners, photographers, just different things that people do. Kayak rentals, all down the line that all make money utilizing this public area. But yet we're the only one that have gotten a cease and desist from the city. We know numerous of these people on this list. We have talked to them personally, and they have not received a single cease and desist. We don't understand why. We've been told that nobody knew that these businesses existed. It's a simple Google search. Leading into that are just for us to put the facts out there. Prime Golden Hour Beach in Ocean Springs. That's a wedding planner. We know ABC drops off stuff all the time. I actually called ABC Rental today, and they said that they could drop stuff off on the sand. Once again, it's another commercial activity that happens in a publicly zoned area. We do the same thing with our beach shares. Our catering business is the exact same. We get paid to render a service. We do not hold retail sales on the beach. We have our commercial building, our commercial kitchen for that. People call us, they hire us, we set up. This is no different from a wedding planner, ABC Rental, a photographer, an artist, any of these people. They're all doing the same thing. The next one is event pricing. You can clearly see to where a beach photo shoot, if you scroll through the middle of the page, beach photo shoot $259 to $500. We don't feel how we're any different than any of these other people. Once again, these are photos that are taken solely in Ocean Springs, and people are promoting. I can keep going through it. Just more photos, more of this, more of that. More restaurants dropping food off on the beach. I mean, we feel like the proof is here that we're no different than a lot of other businesses. But once again, we are the only one that has gotten a cease and desist for this quote unquote commercial activity. Does anybody have any questions?
I've got one for our city attorney, Mr. Wilkinson. I assume this is the first time you've seen this.
No, I believe this has been going on, I believe, for months, and I know Will has been working with planning on this, so it's the first time I've seen this particular document, but I'm aware of this issue going on.
Yes, sir.
I think, Darryl, you've communicated with other businesses.
Yes, I have. And I looked into some of the businesses he's actually mentioned. Their actual Facebook page didn't actually advertise the Ocean Springs Beach. It's kind of like if you had a wedding down there this weekend, you could probably call any chair rental company. They would drop off the chairs there. It's just a matter of using the Ocean Springs Beach as your advertising that service.
And he's not doing that. Correct.
Yeah, on his Facebook page he was actually advertising the dinner on the beach with the Ocean Springs Beach, and that's what done it. I mean, if you had a wedding down there, you could have it catered to the beach. You could have the chairs and all that activity like that. It's just to promoting, using the beach to promote your business to offer that service. Is where the area was.
And that was my understanding, is that the reason for the cease and desist, and we spoke about this, was initially because the advertising that was going on the beach at the time, with staged chairs that were there readily available to be utilized. And I think there was also a discussion regarding the fire pits at one point, that the fire pits were being rented and then re-rented as part of a package that you offered. And I think that's what was the catalyst for the cease and desist.
Yes.
So as far as that kind of activity, that's no longer occurring, I'm assuming?
No, to best of my knowledge, he hasn't. I mean, he's complied with the cease and desist.
Okay.
Yes, I will say that.
Okay. So it's not really, just so that I understand, it's not really a matter of utilizing the beach to render your services. It was a matter of utilizing the beach to advertise your service.
Okay, so it's advertising.
I think it's both. The ordinance says that you cannot operate a business on a public piece of property. Now, if he drops off his beach chairs and somebody, uses his beach chairs and then they bring them back to him, that's one thing. But to go down there and set the beach chairs up and have people use them, that's another thing. To go down there and cook food on the beach and serve like a restaurant would do, that's operating a restaurant basically, or a catering business on public property. It's it's not that we pick on him or anyone else. I mean, if someone else is doing it and they get caught doing it, then they will be treated the same way. So that's not, we're not picking on anybody. But we've asked these folks to stop, and they really didn't stop. So that's when the cease and desist came out. So until the ordinance is changed, where you allow businesses to operate on the beach, on public property, then, you know, it can't go on, and whether it's them or anybody else. We had some group that were going down there and putting up cabana beds, you know, and we chase them off. You know. In Biloxi, on the beaches over there, it's allowable, but they pay fees to the county to operate businesses on the beach. So that's where this thing kind of is. That's the area we're dealing with.
Well, and if I can clarify too, the email, the 2016, we were only dealing with chairs at that time. You know, there wasn't, the catering wasn't happening yet.
Yes, ma'am.
So that was the thing, the main thing, what you described about, you know, having the chairs on the beach. That was the primary thing. Delivering them was one thing, but having them down there available for anybody to walk up. The difference with the catering was kind of a subtle thing, but it was, you know, that was if you were advertising that I will come to this spot, and it's advertising, but it's also functioning. If I'm holding an event and I call a person for the catering and a person for the chairs, and maybe it's all one person, it's still my event, not the business's event. And it's a subtle difference, but Biloxi does have designated areas with designated permits, and we don't have that ability built in. So that's the subtle differences.
So as far as the cease and desist letters, then, so Daryl, that they are now compliant. So he's no longer advertising on the beach with readily available chairs. He's no longer setting up catering for anybody who wants to come by and grab a bite. It's all done now privately, pre-ordered.
Can I clarify that?
That's why I'm asking Daryl.
Okay.
Because that is where I think where we are stuck. If they're now compliant, what's the next steps?
Well, compliant meaning that if somebody orders food down there, they can deliver food. They cannot cook food on the beach, and basically, like, you would operate the business on the beach.
Right, unless someone hires him.
I guess if somebody ordered a pizza, you know, Domino's could drop the pizza off, you know, but they can't cook on, you know, Domino's can't cook the pizza on the beach.
Burgess, I think there are two issues here. The cease and desist was based upon activity that was going on at the time, and a finding was made by Daryl and the planning board that, in fact, the ordinance was being violated. So that's one. The second thing is going forward. If you're going forward, if the cease and desist is upheld, we go forward with it. In the future, if it is violated again, then you are not violating an ordinance, you're violating an ordinance and a cease and desist order. If that makes any sense.
Results in more severe.
Correct, but part of this is past conduct. I just want to make that clear.
So, can I clarify a couple things? First, Ms. Burgess, you just said we set up on the beach and sell food. That's not what we do. People call our catering business and book us just like somebody would call a photographer and say, I want to do a beach shoot. We are no different than that.
You are preparing food on the beach.
The preparing food, the health department knows about it, and they have let us do it. They understand what we do.
This is a city ordinance. This is not a health department issue we're talking about.
Yes. Yeah,
so the health department can tell you you can do anything you want, but the city has ordinances that you have to follow.
That says we're not allowed to set up and sell food on the beach. So we do not set up and sell food. I don't set up my pizza oven.
She understood that.
I understand that part.
Okay.
Everybody else understands that, you know, you can't cook food on the beach.
So,
well, then why is anybody else allowed to do it? Why are people allowed to deliver and drop food on the beach?
We can go back and forth on this, but Daryl, I know for a fact Daryl has been calling people that have been on that beach because the front beach is my area, and I know what Daryl's been doing. So you're not the only person that's been singled out. I mean, even on your letter from the Mississippi Department of Marine Resources, it specifically says that the Heritage Area respectfully requests that Food, Booze, and Hiccups be allowed to continue operations and serve as the city of Ocean Springs, provided they abide by the city and county rules, regulations, and code for usage. So you have to follow the rules.
Can you show me where it says that I'm not allowed to cook food and sell it on the beach?
That's doing business on the beach.
But we don't sell it. It says retail sales in the.
I've seen your name a lot of times on burn pits because you advertised that you would do that on our beach.
We do.
And you took the burn pits away from our taxpayers for you to make your own money on that. So there's a big difference. Maybe you might not see it in your eyes, but, but there is an ordinance that stops what you were doing.
So is the city selling fire pits on the beach different from what we do? It's still commercial activity, is it not?
But you're utilizing
It's
public property.
It's a public amenity with.
But no, we're utilizing it for people who want to get a fire pit. All I'm doing is making their life easier. I charge them the same thing that y'all charge.
Reserving them in your name for benefit of your own self takes away from the taxpayers that live here in Ocean Springs that want to burn pits.
Because we're providing it to people that live in Ocean Springs.
I don't know who you provide it to.
But a lot of people in Ocean Springs.
Provided that they also had
I
to
only
pay
see your
for it.
name.
What if they just want to use the fire pit? They don't want to.
Well, then that's fine. We can do that. And I'll also set up the fire for them. There's a ton of people specific to the fire pits. There's a ton of people that don't want to tote everything down there. They don't want to have to go get wood and bring their own chairs out. They want somebody to do it for them.
Well,
how is that different?
It's a service that you would not benefit from without the fire pit.
Say it again.
It's a service that you would not benefit from without the fire pit.
I mean, not necessarily. We also have our own fire pits. And if I don't need to utilize the cities, then I can bring my own. People bring grills all the time on the beach. There's a lot of.
I appreciate the thinking outside the box.
Let's reel this in here a little bit. Well, we're kind of going back and forth with the same questions and the same answers and so forth. So, does anybody else have something different to offer?
Well, I just want to make a statement that, what Mr. Paletti and them offer is very good service. And I understand we need to make some adjustments to make sure it's following the city code. But the service you offer, the people and the residents really appreciate the beach chairs and the catering. So I would like to see this board do something to help and get this to where it is approved in the future. Tonight, I don't see that happening, Michael, because we got to sit down there. There's a lot of obvious stuff we've got to make sure.
And we'd be more than willing to sit down with the city and try to figure out a common ground.
I mean, everybody loves the service, and I hate to see that just shut down.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments or questions? Okay. Thank you. Take this under advisement and employ some type of end to the meetings. We have business and ordinance adoption amendment to the Code of Ordinance Zoning and subdivisions to revise chapter 4.5 to add article 4 IB parade sections 147 through 4.5-151. Chief Dunson. Address
this. When we finally were able to obtain enough barricades to barricade off the majority of the parade route, what we found was we didn't have a vehicle to enforce somebody jumping over barricades and getting near the floats and so forth. So this ordinance will give your officers a chance to enforce or have an ordinance to enforce violators who jump over barricades or go around barricades or take the barricades down and get in the way of the floats. And very simple.
Anybody have any questions?
I did. Chief and I spoke briefly I don't take any issue with any aspect of this, but I did want to see about removing the section 4.5-150 that speaks towards the prohibition of animals and reptiles. It's really not pertaining to the barricades and the safety of the barricades. It kind of takes a little bit of a left turn there. And I think that that may be a different discussion. I'm concerned about potentially putting that and being able to enforce it and then being liable should something occur. Robert, you know.
Two things. One is that section dealing with the barricades and the animals. It all came. We looked at Biloxi's code real hard because they have so many. And that section, they were kind of together in the Biloxi code, and that's where we brought it from here.
Yeah, I'm not a fan just because it doesn't really. It says 150 feet of the parade route or the site of the public event, so it doesn't really just limit Mardi Gras parades. It limits any other public event that we have, festivals and things like that, where barricades are being utilized, which we have quite a few of, and people like to bring their pets. So I'm not a big fan of that part.
Well, I guarantee you, as a person who wore a uniform for 12 years and worked these parades, you would be if you ever had to work them. And had to pull people apart with their pets that tied up, or just recently at last year's Peter Anderson, I happened to be walking beside a lady that tripped over this old fuzzball that unless you were looking for it, you didn't even see it. It was so small. And it was an elderly lady. She tripped over the dog. I happened to be standing next to her. I grabbed her. But you want to talk about liability, and if somebody hits the concrete, the first thing they want to do is blame the city. And, you go downtown during the weekend, you rarely see a pet. You put cars on the street, and everybody comes out of the woodwork with snakes and and dogs, and I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense to me. But having worked those parades for many years in uniform, I can attest to the fact I think it's needed. Absolutely needed.
When I read it, I was thinking that this would just affect the parades. I mean, this really would affect the Peter Anderson Festival. I mean, we don't use barricades to barricade the festival. We just use it to close the street.
I think the ordinance is broad enough to cover, as Jennifer just pointed out, it's all events such as a Peter Anderson.
Because I mean, you can enter the Peter Anderson Festival from all kinds of places. I mean, you don't have to jump barricades or move barricades to get there. I mean, the barricades only block off certain streets. So I mean, so this ordinance really wouldn't fit a one-size-fits-all like for Peter Anderson Spring Arts and all that, right? I mean, you can still have your pets at those festivals.
Again, I think too, Ricky, this was more from Biloxi that dealt specifically with parades.
Site of public event. That was my question, because I think what this does is it does put an umbrella over any event, not just Mardi Gras, or not just where we're utilizing the barricades.
You don't jump barricades.
No, but Robert, to my point, you did say that this does broaden it to cover any event, regardless of whether
I think Chief
barricades are being
Dustin
used.
was trying to get to how to handle people jumping barricades when they're connected
In a fenced-in
parade route to get in the parade route or get to the fenced area, no matter what it is. I understand what Ricky's saying, because you can get into Peter Anderson from anywhere, But the idea is when we have barricades that are locked together, we don't want people jumping those barricades and getting into the main arena.
Right, now, I don't take any issue with this, just that section.
And I think your interpretation is correct. It would be broader than just a Mardi Gras parade or a Christmas parade.
So, if we could take that section out, then I don't think there would be an issue. We could address this particular issue separately.
Okay, well, why don't you make a motion with that?
Okay, so I'll make a motion to accept the ordinance excluding section 4.5-150.
Can we do this, Vicki?
You can adopt it.
Adopt it, yes. Adopt this ordinance
without one.
Minus section 4.5-150.
Okay, we have a motion by Ms. Burgess. Second?
I'll second it, only because I don't want it to affect the festival part of it. When I read it, I was really focused more on the parade aspect of it.
What I would suggest, if I may, since we've got a second, I'd make a comment. Either remove the animal section completely or remove the wording of event. One of the two. Because I have to have, for this ordinance to be in effect for the night parade, it has to be unanimous vote.
Well, I can see where it would work for parades because if an animal gets loose in the barricaded area, they can't jump to catch it, and then the police are caught dealing with it.
Right.
And we have people bringing boa constrictors and big lizard iguanas. Yeah.
To Chief's point, can I revise my motion? So to adopt or approve this ordinance with the, or the site of the public event stricken. So it'll just say 150 feet of the parade route. And eliminate or the site of the public event. That will focus solely on the parade.
And also remove or other permitted public events.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I said, or the site of the public event. Oh, I see, or other permitted public event.
Yes.
Correct, thank you. So you want me to re-say it?
I want you to clarify that.
Okay, so we're gonna accept, motion to accept the ordinance. Adopt the ordinance, striking the phrase or other permitted public event, and striking the phrase or the site of the public event.
Got a motion by Ms. Burgess. Second by Mr. Aldermen. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Roll call.
Gotta have a roll call.
Aye.
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 Motion carries.
Mayor, I think we would need a second motion now that this is a matter that affects the public health and safety, and therefore requested it be implemented immediately.
So moved.
Motion by
Second.
Mr. Flagg, second by Mr. Aldermen. We need a roll call on this one, Vicki?
If it's an ordinance, I would think so.
Aye.
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 Okay, there's mud. Okay, next item on the agenda is consent agenda. Does anybody have anything to pull from the consent agenda?
Make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
By Mr. Aldermen.
Second.
Flagman. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Carries. Department reports. Things from the dockets. Is there anything that needs to be pulled from the docket of claims?
I'll make a motion to approve the docket of claims, all expenditures appropriate and authorized by law, and spread summary upon the minutes.
Mike, you want to add the payout? Add the
I'll do
payout?
that in Alderman's report.
Okay. Is that where you prefer it? Okay.
Motion by Mr. Empey.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Compania. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Does anyone have any questions on the monthly budget report?
Make a motion to accept the monthly budget report, Mr. Mayor.
Motion by Mr. Empey. Mr. Wade. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries. Next item on the agenda is public comment. Public is invited to address the board for up to 3 minutes each for a maximum of 30 minutes. Only 2 speakers will be allowed per each side of an issue. Please identify yourself before speaking. Anybody have any comments? Yes, sir.
My name is Mayor Johnson. Mayor Holloway and the board, I urge you all, take those cameras down. Those cameras that have been put in the intersections to write people to surveil the population and write them tickets for things like not having insurance or expired tags. I understand we've got cameras now, Ocean Springs intersections to do that. This is a small town in South Mississippi. It's not communist China. Please, take those cameras down. I've lived in places where those cameras are up there, places like South Florida. It starts with, oh, we're going to just check for people who have expired insurance or expired tags. And then it goes down the road of anybody who doesn't get through the intersection while the light turns red gets a ticket for running a red light. And then it goes to, we're going to put them on stop signs. Anybody who doesn't fully stop, ticket. There's a reason we have human beings in enforcing our laws. Human police officers. Okay, they do this stuff in communist China. I am very sad to see this come to South Mississippi. It is such a government overreach and a constriction of our freedom and liberty. I assume some of you probably have children and grandchildren. Do you want them to grow up in a place where their every move is surveilled and they get a ticket if they do the slightest thing to commit a crime? I don't want to live in that world, and I hope you wouldn't want that for your kids or grandkids. And then, finally, I would note that the people that are being surveilled by these cameras have not committed any crime, as far as we know at the time that the surveillance is being taken of them. Please, I urge and implore you all, take those cameras down. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you. If anyone else would like to address the board? Yes, sir.
Man, this is going to be on the same subject.
Okay.
I'm going to read you what I got, okay? And I sent this information to you.
Please.
I'm sorry.
State your name.
Terry Reynolds. I'm Terry Reynolds, okay? And I got this in the mail. I'm going to read you what I have, okay? Upon oath, this duly sworn officer does depose and say, at the listed citation date, time, and location, the above-named owner of the listed motor vehicle and willfully and unlawfully commit the offense of operating or allowing the operation of the vehicle on a public road without vehicle insurance as required by the Mississippi Code 63-15-4 against the peace and the dignity of the state of Mississippi. The recorded image, date, time, and location are evidence of the violation that I have personally confirmed based on my inspection of the image and of government records. I have determined probable cause that this vehicle owner was in violation of the status. I'm going to tell you that this police officer, if he is a police officer, did not investigate anything because I had insurance at the time. I got the citation. Now I have to go through all this stuff. Now I sent this information to the mayor and also the chief of police with no response, if you recall that, sir. Okay, now I'm going to read you my response to this, okay? I'm 73 years old with a clear driving record and never had a traffic violation and resent the fact that I have to go through this process. If the officer involved would have done a thorough investigation, he would have found this out. He certainly had all the information to do so, such as name, address, make, and model of the vehicle, as well as the VIN number. I may be mistaken, but I do not believe that he even bothered to check the database because my insurance card plainly states I had insurance at the time of the citation. And I want to tell y'all something else. I know a young lady who's had 3 of these things, 3 citations. Nobody's policing those people over there. They just do whatever they want to do. I also believe my Fifth Amendment rights were violated. For instance, if there were a shoplifting in downtown Ocean Springs, you can't arrest 2,000 people and say, okay, you 1,199 people have to prove that you're not guilty so I can catch this one fellow, okay? I mean, it's against the Constitution, period. That's it. Okay, and I also refer to, I'm not going to read the referral on Code 172519 because your lawyer probably knows that got changed in our state up there. Somebody snuck that in and got it signed off on. Anyway, I was asking for an apology from the mayor, the chief of police, and actually the officer who did this. And I will tell you, I'll be boycotting all the businesses in Ocean Springs. And I have been doing business in Ocean Springs for 55 years. I prefer to come over here than any other place, but I'm not going to anymore. That's it. Now, one other thing that I'm going to read here. This is the last email I got from these people. It's not an apology, I'm here to tell you. We are delighted to inform you that research indicates the insurance coverage was valid at the time of the event. We have dismissed the citation and corrected the record on your behalf. If it was valid now, it was valid then. They did not do any research. They just sent this out carte blanche. This is not even a signature from this police officer. It's a rubber stamp. He just does so many of these things. It goes like this, and then hands them out. I mean, that's crocs.
Thank you, Mr. Reynolds.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Absolutely.
Somebody like me to respond to, or just what?
Typically, you can. It's more of something we take under advisement.
Okay.
No response?
I'm Linda Williams, live in Parktown. I was looking at a sign that was placed in Parktown on Groveland. It says Katrina Community Development Block Grant, Parktown Area Drainage Improvements. I don't know when this grant was given or approved or whatever, but I'm still looking for the drainage, status on the drainage, the status on our streets. Are we talking about Zaxby's where they put drainage in, or the drainage on the ballpark? Because the last time I stood here, I know Mr. Impey told me that it was already working. It's already started. So where is it started? If you could please tell me that.
So the signage still in Groveland is related to the ditch at the end of Groveland, and that is complete. The other funding is the ditch behind Zaxby's in the shopping center when you first enter the Walmart parking lot, as well as the ditch in Crestlawn Cemetery. And I met with Miss Katie the other day and walked the site and asked her, we've removed a lot of debris, so when it comes to drainage, you really need another rain event to see what else needs to take place. So it's already been improved.
And those are nearly complete.
Yes.
Yep.
The Crestlawn ditch is the last one we're working on.
So nobody has been out there when we had, I know because I waited to Katie's house when she was upset and it was over the top of my boots, which was knee high.
Yes,
in front of her house.
Yeah, I think she said that was April of last year.
Oh, yeah.
And so I told her I'm coming out the next rain event. I came out the last rain event, but it wasn't significant enough to hold water in the road. So I am aware of it. I am going to come out when we do get that amount of rain again, and then we'll go from there and see what needs to be the next step. But we've done a lot of improvements that you don't see because they're out of sight.
Okay, and what about our paving? Because I know I live on Yosemite and it's horrible.
That's a whole other.
That's another story. The county does our paving, and we're at their time frame to do it. And I know they've released that we may start back again, and Yosemite is on the list to be paved. So we're our hands are tied on that one right now.
Unfortunately, you see the building in Goshen that says Mallet Brothers, but Mallet Brothers doesn't exist anymore. And we're down to Warren Paving is basically the only entity. I mean, there are some that do parking lots, but as far as road paving, it's Warren, and that's pretty much it. And unfortunately, it's way behind Yosemite, almost 2 years behind. Yosemite is the priority on my paving list, and it has been for almost 2 years. Did Joe with the county update the time frame on paving?
I'll have a comment about that at the Mayor Aldermen comments. Update y'all on paving.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else who would like to address the board?
Can I come back up?
3 minutes.
Thank you. So, Michael Paletti again. I reconvened with my boss over here, my wife. We just like to say we would love to work with all you guys to come to an understanding. If the advertising of Ocean Springs Beach is an issue, we will take that off of our website tonight. We will not promote anything that says Ocean Springs Beach. We will change the verbiage. We would like to come to a quick conclusion of this. This is our small business. We are losing a ton of money right now. So Belly Up Beach Shares has been in business for over 6 years. We would like to continue to do what we do until we can all sit down and come to an understanding and work together. Rather sooner than later. I know from our side, all that we can handle is we can change the terminology on our website as of tonight. It won't be up there tomorrow promoting Ocean Springs Beach. Is that fair?
Yeah, there's still some issues we're going to have to work out, but that would be a start, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, anyone else who would like to address the board? Mayor and Aldermen's forum, Ms. Burgess.
Yeah, just a couple of things. So first off, Alan, thank you. The boat launch, the repair on that pipe, it looks fantastic. You know, it's been a long time coming, so I do appreciate you guys staying on top of that. Sarah, the status on the crosswalk signs for Gilbert?
The county approved it last week at their meeting, so we already have the PO cut. I sent it to the vendor. So as soon as we receive it, we'll pay it in the county.
So we've ordered the, okay, and we're looking at some different.
And then the reflectors, we're looking at just the different types.
Okay.
And we'll probably order those by next week.
Okay, outstanding, thank you. Alan, the no dumping signs on Poultry, we get those down. Daryl, as far as the code enforcement report, those residents were told that those signs, those dumping signs will come down on Poultry, but the minute that there's an infringement and the minute there's dumping on there again, the signs are coming back up. So those signs are going to come down. Stephen, the ADA compliant swing in John Hill Park, where are we on that?
We're actually going to update all the parks with ADA swings. I was hoping to get with each one of the aldermen to get an alderwoman to get some else ward funds to purchase these. I'm kidding, but
Yeah, I was going to say.
yeah, no, we're going to put one in every park going out. But I'll have to get some prices on it. The ones that are more built for our parks are a little more expensive than what you see in the magazine. But I will get some prices, and I'll get with you to see a specific design you want.
Yeah, we can get a time frame. I mean, it doesn't have to be frilly.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be fancy. Just
Okay.
something that
Yeah.
we can get something rather quickly.
Yeah, I'll get you an update as soon as possible. And email you.
Thank you. That's all I've got.
Raven, have you talked to Owen White?
Have I talked to him?
So if I make a motion, since I have the historical, I mean, there's no reason why we shouldn't do it tonight. I think I have all the historical. Anybody else have that?
Yeah, Owen is, I know Owen, he's looking forward to being on that. I think he'd be a good fit. For anybody that doesn't know him and knows Miss Sue White, who used to be on the school board, he is her son, graduated high school with him. But I think he'd be a great fit. And I had that on my list of mentions. So if you want to go ahead and.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we go ahead and appoint Owen White to the HBC board.
I'll second.
If you could add to the motion, his term would expire July 31st, 2026.
His term would expire July what?
31st,
2026.
2026. He's taking the rest of Tyler Cox.
Motion by Ms. Alderman, second by Mr. Impey. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. That's it.
I'd like to thank Public Works, the PD, the fire department for y'all's hard work on the parade. Seemed like it went, with very few problems, and the barricades were great. Yeah. So, thanks for all y'all's hard work.
Speaking of the barricades, have we addressed that issue?
Which one?
The wrong ones?
I think Miss Patty got a price on replacing the feet on them, but as far as I know, that's all we've done.
We had that discussion about the wrong ones and the right ones. Daryl had a good comment the other day in our department head meeting about those legs. You want to explain that?
If they set them in the gutter with the gutter slanting, would the flat bar stick up? Would it become a trip hazard or possibly a sharp object?
You wouldn't be setting them in the gutter unless they're going to sit level. I mean, we've got some. We can try it and see what it looks like and what it does.
Because I know
we've had 3 of them run over just the first time used.
Well, that's what made me think of it.
We've
because
had
he
the
had
flat ones run
one.
over too.
He had some that were in the gutter, and I looked at it, and I looked at one with a flat bar, possibly being up off the ground a couple of inches. So.
Well, that was a pretty big mistake. It's a pretty big investment and a pretty big mistake because that was stipulated up here on this board to get the flat bars on those barricades. But, they did work great. I think they were needed. They worked, so we're good. But I would love to see as we replace the ones that are run over, put the flat bars back in them. The other thing, Mr. Reynolds, I do want to apologize to you because we have had several of those cases, and I get several phone calls on that. And I apologize that you're having to go through this when you did have insurance. And it's not right to cause residents with insurance to go through these.
Somebody that needs to be monitored them.
Well, they're doing, it's getting better, but we've just had issues we've had to work out in the process, and some things just, they get through the process. So I apologize that you're having to appear and make time out of your schedule to come up here and approach us. But other than that, that's all I got, Mayor.
Alan, I want to tell you thank you. You folks, the barrier that you built and installed, and they built and installed at Starksville. I was just reading, I've got 4 positive comments, so thank you.
I guess they've been building them all over town for a long time.
Oh, man. Y'all could go to Ingalls and build a ship with that.
You better learn how to build them.
So, no, be sure and tell them thank you very much. Thank you.
Don't tell him.
I'll show it to you if you want to see. That's all, man.
I'm good there. Got a couple of items we need to take care of. From Chief McCoy, I make a motion authorizing the hire of Brian Yates with a tentative start date of Sunday, February 19, 2023, pending completion of all pre-employment requirements. Firefighter Yates will have a starting salary of $14.77 an hour.
Motion by Mr. Hempy.
Second.
By Mr. Cox. All in favor?
Aye.
Carries.
And speaking of the block grant and the Parktown area drainage improvements, this inadvertently got left off the list for payment application, payout number 4 for those area drainage improvements in Parktown, for the amount of $39,472.13. Make a motion that we pay that out.
Motion by Mr. Hempy.
Second.
Second by Mr. Cox. All in favor?
Aye. That's all we're going to do.
Okay, we need everyone to look at the urban renewal map. It will be in Carolyn's office. Go by there and look at it. If there's any changes that you would like to see, please note it so we can do those changes. We've got to get working on this map with some pictures of all the parcels, parcel identification numbers, and a lot of tedious work that has to be done. So we want to start that process. So if y'all would be able to do that before the next, before the recess meeting, we can go ahead and approve that map and start moving forward with it. Paving, we have, or the county has $1.3 million budgeted for paving in Ocean Springs. We are anticipating that starts in June. There'll be some additional monies that Patty says we can use for milling. So we have asked that everybody provide their list of streets in the order of importance, and also which streets in the order of importance that you would like to have milled, so we can coordinate that along with the paving.
Mayor, we're going to start a whole new list because I know that they've already got
Yeah,
the list. So we want to pull back the list and start a whole new
Yeah,
list.
this is just a reminder if you hadn't done it. If you've done it, then that's fine. I don't know.
Put it on the list then.
No. Just a reminder. We want to get that
Yeah, for those of you who haven't moved, take your time.
All right, Jim.
Parades, barricades. The barricades did work great per Captain Warband. He said it was excellent. The parade ran smoothly. Obviously, we did not understand or have the knowledge of how long it was going to take to put the barricades out. We got them out way too early. We made some adjustments not to disrupt business any more than we had to. The next parade will be Friday the 17th, and the barricades will go out that morning. So, Thursday night, the signs will be set out for no parking after 3 a.m. and it's 7 a.m., maybe a little earlier. Alan and his crew, along with some of Chief Dunstan's crew, and I think some.
We get the same turnout we had last time, it'll go good.
Yeah, we'll get them out. That way, we'll get them out of there as soon as we can. Breakfast with the mayor next Wednesday at Lady May, 8 a.m. Y'all want to listen to me talk? No, that's okay too. We'll be there. That's all I have. Anything else? Okay. I need a motion to go into closed session to determine the necessity of going into executive session. Motion by Ms. Aldermen.
Second.
Second by Ms. Burgess. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. The board is now in closed session.
Yeah, we're all right, appreciate it, thank you. I've never really already. I told him, I said, I don't care what you do. That works. Well, we talked about that. I'll find out more. Yes, he does. Don't let him lie to you. He needs lots of help with it.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay. Okay.
Are you gonna hang around?
Do you know how long y'all are going to be in there? So probably not, because y'all might be in there.
If you don't, that's okay, because I got a better idea what it is.
Okay, but Patty, do you think you're going to be in there like 20 or 30 minutes, or?
Are you going to work with these guys tonight?
Well, I can stay if y'all are going to be 20 or 30 minutes, but if you think it's going to be an hour, 2 hours, I'm not staying that long.
I don't think it's going to be an hour or 2 hours.
I can wait around for about 30 minutes. Okay, well, I'll hang out then. I don't mind hanging. Hey, Bobby, I'll hang out for about 30 minutes. If y'all hang out, then I'll go.
All right, Katie.
Hey, I'm going to hang out for about 15, 30 minutes. If y'all ain't out, then I'm going to leave. Oh, Bobby needed help. But I was just letting you know. Okay.
That's what
I didn't say anything. They're going to be like, I heard Mindy say.
I'm ready to go to one thing I'm going to recall about help me say
It's my fault. I just told you.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Sure, they were very
Turns out there's only 5 of us. I thought there was like a big.
That's what I was told. Well, maybe larger than that, maybe halfway down the table.
Inside the.
What do you got, an insurance ticket?
There's a manhole.
No, I have insurance.
Yeah, thank you.
Doesn't
mean you ain't gonna get a ticket.
But I need you to make sure I can break the law.
His insurance company didn't report it.
You can check that
Oh,
manhole.
yeah.
Thanks, Carolyn.
He can do that too. He can seal that manhole too.
No, it's fine.
Blue shirt night? Or the wrong ones?
Worked for the phone company, worked in the underground. Thank you, sir.
No problem.
It's all right, they got it.
Yeah, Vicky.
I hope y'all can work something out with that young guy.
Check the 2 minute form.
You know, radios.
I see it all the time when I.
Okay, Vicky, ready?
There's a lot of weapons out there.
Motion made by Alderman Cox, seconded by Alderman Wade to stay in executive session to discuss personnel in the mayor's office.
Okay, no, we can't.
But anyway.